All right, Alex, for today's video, we're going to teach you the cost of getting started up in the aesthetic industry. And we're going to be speaking to our 5 Square nurses, but if you're not a 5 Square member as of today, that's okay. You're still going to get a lot of benefit from this. So I hope that the information that's to come is going to help you out. So one of the most common questions I get on a day-to-day basis is, how much does it cost me to get into the aesthetic industry? And believe it or not, it's actually quite expensive. If you've done any kind of research on what it's going to take to get into the aesthetic industry, you know there's a lot of steps in it. So for today's video, I thought I'd outline all the things that you need, from startup costs to ongoing costs, to start and operate your own aesthetic side hustle or your own aesthetic business. And so that's what today's going to be about, learning a little bit about the costs on it. So the first part of this are our startup costs. And so these are the startup costs that I see for most people when they're trying to get into owning their own business. And so let's just walk through them real quick. One of the things you're going to need from startup perspective is an EMR, electronic medical record. And the cheapest one I found that's designed for the aesthetic industry is going to cost you about $399 to start up. Okay. Most of these products, these technology products, have startup costs involved in it. And the cheapest one I could find is about $400. So there's a hard cost that you're going to have. Then legal fees. To set up a business entity, it takes work. Now, you could go and try to do it on the cheap and just file with your state and do it independently, but I don't encourage you to do that, because you need some legal guidance on how to set it up. And a lawyer is worth every penny on it. Are you going to be filing as an S Corp, a C Corp, or just self-proprietary? There's all these different things you need to talk to legal about. So get a good business lawyer and have them set it up. And I've seen those costs range anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500. And with those startup costs come filing fees. All the states in the United States have filing fees. I've seen them for as cheap as about $100. I've seen them as expensive as $300-$400. And every year going forward, you're going to have to re-up that. Some states don't charge you to re-up your LLC yearly, but most do. So you're going to have about $150 in filing fees as well. Then we get into social media startup. Now, this can be done independently. You may not have to pay for it, but to get any kind of coaching or mentorship in that, I've found some calls that you can do online with social media coaching for about $250. That'll get you an hour or two of their time to help you set up your social media accounts that will be more conducive to your business. Then we're going to get into the training, and the training is the most expensive part of trying to get into this industry. This is on the cheap end, about $4,000 to do a toxin filler hands-on course training. If you do some of the online programs that don't involve hands-on, you could probably find it for about half of that much, maybe $2,500. But you're going to need some toxin filler training at the bare minimum to continue getting education. Okay. And by the way, your education never stops at startup. That'll be a continuing cost as well. Then we're going to get into different courses that you might want to take, like a business fundamental course, or activating your network course, or introduction to business financing courses. You can also intertwine like mentorship as well. Some people will pay for business coaching to help you get started as well. Or you can take individual courses in that. And I just kind of estimated that each of those courses is going to be about $250. And then the last thing that you're going to have to do to start your own business is you're going to have to buy some injectable products. And the injectable products to get started are going to cost you about $2,000 on your own. And that'll get you going as you start injecting. The nice thing about injecting is that cost is usually just to begin with. And then as you get revenues in, you'll just use some of those revenues to buy future products as well. So your total startup costs are about $9,000 to get going. Give or take $1,000 on either end, depending on what kind of things you want to add or subtract to this. Now, for you that are our 5 Square members, you already know this, but for those of you that are thinking about getting into aesthetics and want to join our membership, 5 Square Aesthetics has a lot of this stuff covered. Our EMR that we do, that same EMR I told you about, we actually have a contract with the EMR company so that your onboarding costs will be a little cheaper. We save you $150 there. And then all of these things with the plus mark, we include in your membership fee. So we're a little bit differently. We try to spread the cost of all of this out over the course of a year, so you don't have to, foot the bill of $9,000 just to get your foot out the door. But our legal fees are included. Our social media startup fees are included. And then we have all the coaching that you want as well. The thing that makes us different is we will give you your toxin filler training as well. We have courses developed for you, hands-on opportunities, all sorts of fun stuff for you as well. And that's a big chunk piece of the pie. And then the only other costs you're going to have as a member are product costs. But those product costs in our membership, because we can do bulk buying power, we can actually get you these products for a lot cheaper. And so we're going to save you $500 right off the top, just because we're going to get you some significant discounts on your toxin filler as part of our membership. So, anyways, you can see that if you went with us, you're going to be paying about $1,750. If you try to do it on your own, you're going to get it's going to cost you about $9,000. So there's roughly about $6,500 difference there. So that's a quick breakdown of the startup costs. Now we're going to switch it over to the ongoing cost of what it takes to keep your aesthetic business up and running. So these are the ongoing costs, and this is not an exclusive list, but it's a pretty common list of things. So let's start at the top about your EMR membership. So the EMR that a lot of aesthetic nurses use, that we use, is called Aesthetic Record, and it'll cost you about $16 a month to do that. In addition to you, and that's per user. So if you have more than one employee, it's going to be $16 times 2, 3, 4. In addition to doing that on your own, you're also going to have to pay for your medical director's Aesthetic Record as a user. So that'll be an additional $16 a month. And then that gets us to our medical director cost. Now, this is a very variable cost. Some medical directors will do it for a flat fee. Some medical directors will do it for a percentage of your revenue. Most actually will do both, a flat fee and a percentage of your revenue. So it's kind of a variable cost. On the low end, I see medical directors charging around $500 on average. On the low end, but I've seen medical directors charge as high as 30% of your profits as well, in addition to some sort of base price as well. So your medical director is going to be a very expensive ongoing cost, because you're going to need them to help you prescribe medications and whatnot. And then we get into some social media stuff. Now, social media is an incredibly time-consuming, and for some people, a difficult process. There's a lot of nuances to it, and I highly recommend, before you get into an aesthetic practice, that you get very familiar with social media. If it's innate to you, this probably isn't going to be something you need to do. But a lot of times with social media, I recommend you get a coach. Pay them a small fee to help coach you through how to create content, what's good to post, that kind of stuff. So that might be an ongoing cost that you'll have. Social media templates. There's companies out there that will give you templates, pre-populated templates, to help you come up with ideas for posts. And those templates can cost anywhere from $50 to $200 a month, for that calendar of templates. And then continuing education. And this is a very variable cost. The startup costs on education are just what's basic to get you into the industry. Once you're in the industry, you're going to realize, okay, I might be competent at, let's say, toxin fillers, but I need to learn advanced filler techniques and advanced tox techniques. And maybe I want to learn about biostimulators, or maybe platelets, or PRP, or the list goes on and on and on. Your education never stops. I've gone to 2 educational things this year already, and I spent probably about $4,000 this year in ongoing education. So it's variable, but it's constant. You need to allocate a certain amount of your revenues to continuing education. That's how you're going to bring new services on. That's how you're going to expand your scope of practice. That's how you're going to become more of an artist. And so I just came up with the number of $2,000 a year, which I think would be a good entry point for somebody that's just getting into it to want to invest in themselves. But it could be a lot higher than that. And then product purchasing. When you do this alone, you don't get access to bulk buying power. A lot of these injectable products, if you buy in bulk, you could bring the price down significantly. And for example, maybe a $600 vial of tox that you buy, you can get as low as $400 or maybe even less with bulk buying. But to bulk buy, you got to spend tens of thousands of dollars. I've done bulk buying where I spent $48,000 on a bulk purchase to bring my price point down, 20, 30%. So you're not going to get any of that when you start your own business right out the gate. As you grow, then you'll be able to bulk buy and start taking advantage of that. It took me about 2.5 years before I could take advantage of bulk buying, or I had enough revenues to bulk buy. And that really changed the game for me. It makes you a lot more competitive when you can provide your service at the same price as your competitor, but you're going to make more money. So that's something to consider as you grow your aesthetic practice. And then we get into mentorship. If you've never owned a business, if you've never been in business, I strongly recommend you find yourself a mentor. There's actually business coaches out there and whatnot that will help mentor you through the process. I value mentorship at like $100 a month. Business and marketing mentorship, community membership, and then like having a network of like-minded peers to help mentor you through there as well. So I put an arbitrary value of $100 a month to that, to those. But if you add all of those up, it can be pretty significant when you're trying to start your own business as far as continuing costs. Now, if you're a 5 Square nurse and you're in our program, you already know that we get you a lot of this stuff as part of your membership fee. Or if you're interested, we'd be happy to have a call with you as well. But in our program, we can get, because we have so many people that are involved, we can actually bring these prices down a little bit. For instance, we can bring your EMR membership down $2 a month, which doesn't sound a lot. But then in our program, we also you don't have to pay for your medical director's membership. That's built into our EMR. So that'll save you just in your EMR monthly fees $18 a month. You can multiply that by 12. That's over $200 a year that you're saving just in ongoing fees. Uh, Medical director in our program is always taken care of. You never have additional expenses for your medical director, so that's going to save you thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars by the end of the year. Our company does not take any revenue sharing from you. What you make and what your profits are yours to keep. I can't tell you how important that is. If somebody came to me and said, "Hey, I'm going to go and I want to help you with your business, but I'm going to take 10% or 15% or 20% of your profits," I would say, "See ya," because that's a significant chunk of my margins. So something to think about if you want to join our program. And then we have all of the social media coaching included. We have social media templates that we give you every month. Or we have a social media coach that 1 hour a month she'll sit down with the community and go over common questions, and you can ask questions and give you some strategizing as well. We have all our mentorships included as well. We have business professionals that you can interact with. We have marketing professionals, and then we have a whole community of your peers that you can access as well. And we have a saying around here that a rising tide lifts all ships. We share everything. We don't hold anything close to our chest, because we know if your successes could help another nurse become successful, everybody is increased in value as a process. And then the last thing that really helps our members is bulk buying power, product purchasing. Because we have a community of nurses that we can all participate in a bulk buying program, and we can get you products for 20 to 30% cheaper. So back to that Tox example, we can actually get you $2 off a unit of Tox. And when you're doing a treatment that let's say has 30 units in there, that could get you an extra 50, $60 in your pocket doing nothing different. And that adds up very quickly. Extrapolate that over 20 visits a month at $50. There's an extra $1,000 in your month. That more than pays for your membership. Our membership fee in our program costs for a year $9,588 at $799 a month. We've added all the values of our program. We extrapolate some data like what our average person will buy in product and such. And the value of our membership is a little over $36,000. So you're not going to find a better deal out there in the industry. So regardless if you use us or not, I wanted you as the potential nurse injector getting into this field to know what's ahead of you. You don't want to be surprised by any of this. If you do it on your own, I would definitely save up, around 30 grand before you get started, or maybe 15. And as you get started, be aware that you're going to have these ongoing costs as well. If you join the 5 Square membership, you're not going to need that much money, just your membership fee, and we can help you through the rest of it. So anyways, that's today's video. I hope you learned a few things. Check us out, like and subscribe, and we have more content like this to come. Thanks.